Okay, Kat Smith, here we go.
Okay, stretch it out. I'm ready.
Okay, Kat, as you know, we have 2 visitor centers, one at the Plaza, one down at Jacuzzi Family Winery. It's staffed by professionals and volunteers who are themselves fairly professional.
Yes.
And people come in, they call us, they text us, they ask us questions, they slide into our DMs. They even, like I said, you text us 707-996-1090. We'll answer your questions. Email info@sonomavalley.com. Write your question down on a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. Travel back in time to a fax machine. Put it in the fax machine.
Okay.
Send it to us. I don't know if we have a fax machine, but it doesn't matter. We'll answer your question. Here we go. The segment's called We Get Questions.
Wait. Can I just say how much I love the Visitors Bureau being in the Toscano Hotel?
That was actually the time I was going to ask you if you could say that.
Okay, wait.
Ready?
Go.
Hey, tell me what your feelings are about the Toscano Hotel.
Well, I love it because, people used to have to look through that weird
the jail
cell doors to look inside.
Yeah.
And now, you just get to step into history.
You do.
So you're not only talking to you guys about everything going on in the valley, but you're in history. It's so cool.
There's a women's history room in the back of significant women and their stories. There's all sorts of great stories in the front. You can read all about it. They served, now I'm going weird stories here, the menu, if you were a boarder there, every day was chicken and ravioli.
Wow.
That was my understanding. That was the meal that they always made. Because when you stayed there, you got a meal, right?
Right.
It's like, what's for dinner? Like, no, it's chicken and ravioli.
Well, I guess they're travelers, though, so they're not going to get sick of it because it's new people each night.
Right.
It's just the people in the kitchen who are going to get bored.
Mom, what's for dinner again? The kid in the kitchen.
Chicken and
ravioli. But, yeah.
I hate Sonoma. I got to move out.
I'm going to San Diego.
You
better invent submarines so I can get a roommate. Okay. So, yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so I thank you for loving Toscano. Yes. And please come visit. You've been there a couple times, but it really is a great building.
It's so cool.
I enjoy it. And it's absolutely 100% not haunted.
Yeah.
Here we go. First question.
Either is the community center.
And not at all. And there's not a secret tunnel.
Not a secret tunnel.
Weird, crazy Victorian baby ghosts underneath the plaza.
No, there's not.
Swear to God.
I don't believe you. Mm-hmm.
First question.
We all see you in the camera.
All right, here's the first question.
Okay.
What local Sonoma County wineries allow you to buy a bottle and enjoy it on property?
All of them.
That is boom. I think every winery, if you walk into a winery now and say, can I buy a bottle? They'll probably open it for you.
Yes, go. Here's some glasses.
I would say almost every winery allows you to do that. I was trying to think if there's maybe like a licensing for some of the tasting rooms, but I believe if you're over 21,
yes,
and obviously not
that is kind of a rule.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you can buy a bottle of wine and usually enjoy it. Anyone with a vineyard, go ahead and sit right here. We got some glasses. If you're lucky, it'll be branded glasses.
Right.
And because they're hoping you take a little photo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so almost every Sonoma Valley winery will allow you to do that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And like you said, you grew up here, you know the wine business. So did you have your babies here in Sonoma? Like, were they raised
they're my stepdaughters.
Stepdaughters, okay.
One of them was born not at Sonoma Valley Hospital just because there was a complication. But the other one was born here.
But
yeah.
You raised small people.
You want to know what the weirdest thing is?
What?
So I have a Josephine.
Right.
Chef Gerardo has a Josephine. They were both born at Sonoma Valley Hospital 1 day apart. And even weirder,
Go.
Gerardo and I, our birthdays are 1 day apart.
See?
This
is kind of eerie.
Yeah.
I swear to God. The community center is not haunted.
It's not haunted.
So JoJo and JoJo.
Yep.
Josephine and Josephine.
Yep.
Are a day apart. And you're
So I've been with them since they were 5 and 7.
So here's my question. So you might know the answer to this question.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yes.
Or you might also know people who have babies.
But also I help raise my nieces.
Okay,
so babies, yes.
So
I
you
got
know babies.
It. Yes.
And you know babies do two things. Babies vomit and stuff comes out the other end. So here's this question.
Sometimes when you're in CVS and it's very unpleasant.
So here's the question. Hi, I need to change a stinky diaper. Are there any baby diaper changing stations on the plaza?
On the plaza?
On the plaza. Or around the plaza.
Well, there's bathrooms in the park.
You're right. Right there in the plaza.
Right there in the plaza.
There's there, and I think there's diaper changing stations there in both bathrooms. There's also almost every bathroom around the plaza has it.
Sonoma Community Center upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
And downstairs.
Really?
Just upstairs.
Walk through the causeway. Do your little
Walk through the Cosby
do your
Gallery.
Scream interpretation.
Yes.
And there's a baby changing station, which actually turns out a baby changing station is actually a baby diaper changing station.
Oh.
It's the same baby when you come and go.
Right.
Baby doesn't change.
The baby doesn't. You're right. You are
Diaper
correct,
changes,
sir.
Yeah. So,
yes.
So yeah, there is one. There's many around the plaza. Just walk around. Quickest way to find out where one is to hold a stinky baby out at arm's length and look panicked, and people will point.
I went to Mother's Day brunch at El Dorado Kitchen and saw a toddler heading in there. Thought she was home. She just started stripping all the way into the bathroom.
That's what happens when the kids have too many mimosas.
That's what happens. They said bottomless, so she did.
She's like, I take it.
Okay.
Okay, this one was from a hiker.
Okay.
And hopefully you maybe done some hiking or walking. They heard that there was a quarry that was in Sonoma, and they were hoping to see the remains of the quarry.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wish my spouse Kevin was here because he would be able to tell you things
Is he
like that.
a quarry kind of guy?
He's a quarry kind of guy.
hangs
He's
around
a rock guy.
quarries?
We have walls and walls of rocks.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
But
he
do you guys live in a hovel?
No, they're collections
Oh,
on
okay.
shelves.
Like, yes, we live underground.
We live underground.
So he collects rocks.
Yes. Yeah.
Like he goes on trips and comes back with rocks, or he buys rocks like those geodes?
No, he doesn't buy them. He goes hunting for that. He also loves to go for gold.
Oh,
he
he's a
also
rock
was an ab diver, so there's also
Oh.
shells and when we go to Hawaii, cowries. So we have
Yeah.
shells and rocks and all the
It
things.
sounds like you live with a raccoon.
I do.
Okay.
I live with 3 of them. And a dog. It's the size of a cat.
So you showed me that. So the question was, where can we see the remains of the quarry? There was a quarry.
Okay.
If you actually go to the Toscano Hotel, we have a sample of the rock, but now I know your husband's going to steal it. But it's very heavy. So they used to quarry these very large rocks that they would use to make cobblestone streets and other things. It was actually currently where the Overlook and Montini trails are.
Okay. I was
And-
going to guess there.
Absolutely, you got it. Because you see the mountain, the one you like. There was a quarry up there. Immigrants came from Italy and other parts of the world to work in the quarry. A man named Solomon Shocken was the person who started the quarry, and that was a lot of San Francisco streets. Came
I
here.
should have known that from the cemetery tour. The Historical Society cemetery tour.
Good tour.
So cool.
And the cemetery, ironically, the only thing not haunted in Sonoma.
Is the cemetery. Correct.
Because that's where you expect the ghost to be.
And they're not falling
They're
for
not
it.
there. Like, we're at the community center. So basically, I talked to Richard Dale at the Sonoma Ecology Center, and he said the actual best trail is on the Spotted Fawn Trail. And he said the best way to note where it is to look at the little sign that says farmer side of the quarry. Thanks, Richard.
Can't miss it.
Right there. He says, it is signed and should be obvious. So you can go there, and the quarry's right there. You can check it out. And that's really kind of neat of people who like quarries. I did mention I grew up in South San Jose, where we had quicksilver mining or cinnabar mining.
Right.
And the cool thing there is it's basically all poison.
Oh.
And like scary mines. So I like
How you feeling?
Fine.
Okay.
It's
All
not a big. It's fine. The first fish I caught with my dad was on a creek.
And it had 3 eyes?
Well, basically, we
Okay.
caught it. He's like, don't eat that fish. Like, why? He's like, this was all mercury tailing. So I'm like, yay. So, yeah, that was, that's the dog ate it. Okay, here we go. Next question we got. Are the shops on the plaza open after 5 p.m.? I'd love to go shopping.
Oh, that's kind of hit or miss and a lot of miss.
Yeah, it is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they're open later. Sometimes they're not. There are some.
During Art Walk, you'll find some a little later.
Exactly. Art Walk will open later. And I'm hearing some on Napa Street will be open later coming up in June.
Oh.
So we're doing some experiment there over there by Wolf, Allie. Wolf. So for your dog, you can talk to Allie over there. Caddis, Chris from Caddis Wines will be open. So there will be some that are open a little bit later. But it is kind of hit or miss. But you know what? Go in there at 4:50 and start talking to them. They'll stay open.
They'll stay open.
You're right there. Do some shopping. This woman emailed us. Final question. She's from Sheboygan. Do you know where Sheboygan is?
Sheboygan, Ohio?
Close.
Iowa?
So close.
So far.
Keep going.
Michigan?
Oh, imagine the other mitten state.
Give it to me.
Oh, yeah, don't you know?
Oh, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. There you go. So Kim from Sheboygan. You just pissed off Ohio, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana. Oh God. Yeah,
My aunt in Ohio will hear this too, so I'm embarrassed.
So you're in trouble now. Sheboygan, which is famous for its bratwurst.
Okay.
It's also the Malibu of the Midwest because people, and this is true, there is a good surfing break on Lake Michigan at Sheboygan.
I had no idea. Surfing on a lake.
Surfing on a lake. Well, because it gets cold, the big winds, and they kick up these huge surf. And this segment's been brought to you by Sheboygan Tourism. It's not just
Partnering
bratwurst.
soon.
Okay,
It's not just bratwurst.
here we go. Does the trolley stop at different wineries? Is it a hop on and hop off type of thing? Or do you pay for a guided tour with certain stops? So this is Sonoma Valley Wine Trolley.
Right.
And you might not know the answer to this.
I do not know the answer to this. I do know that when they break down in the middle of the street, it's kind of sad for everyone. But I see people on the trolley all the time having a lot of fun.
Like pushing a trolley. Okay, so we don't edit the podcast, so it does happen, which it does not, unless it does.
Unless it does.
So the trolley does go around to different wineries. I think it goes to 3 to 4 different wineries a day. It is not a hop on.
I don't even know where their hub is.
Well, it starts in the Plaza at 10 a.m.
It starts in the Plaza.
It takes off the Plaza at 10 a.m. Yeah, and then it does a great tour. And actually, one of the drivers is a comedian.
Oh.
And he does improv.
Oh.
Yes.
That's probably why the car was stopped.
He was probably doing a bit.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
For TikTok.
Imagine you're pushing.
Imagine you're pushing a trolley.
All right, good. A little, but left-handed only. Okay, here we go. So it is not hop on, hop off. You hop off, but you get back on when the trolley's about to leave.
But because you're a participant.
You're a participant.
Not because you're choosing to.
Right. You want to be a part of the trolley.
Designated locations.
At all times. Right.
Keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle.
You. That's right. And put your... Remember when you used to go to Great America or whatever? Put them up there. So do we have a link to the trolley? Yes, it's on the website. And her next and final question was, are Sonoma Valley Inn and El Pueblo Inn near the Plaza?
Well, yes.
They are.
But El Pueblo is just a little farther.
It is.
But they're both walkable.
They are both walkable. I see people walking all the time. Sonoma Valley Inn's literally 2 blocks.
Right.
And actually, El Pueblo, we're here on 7th Street, and it's a block and a half away from us. So they're both very close to us.
Very close.
And you can definitely walk. The cool thing about Sonoma, very walkable town.
And nothing's very far. And also, El Pueblo is now very close to the new Lily's Outpost.
Have you been there?
I have not been there yet, but I've been watching the pictures. I see that it has Aloha Spirit, but flashing back to the cowboy boots, a lot of the people during the soft opening, I saw a lot of cowboy boots. You're onto something.
See? Now, however, I've heard that there are also cowboys in Hawaii. So maybe they're
that's
Hawaiian
the thing.
cowboys.
Now I think I need to go to Hawaii to do some research for us.
You do.
And I will report back on the
Well, save your receipt. We absolutely have to reimburse you for this trip. The research. So you haven't been to the new Aloha? It's called
I haven't yet.
Lily's?
Lily's Outpost, yes.
Yeah.
I've just seen all the pictures. It just opened last week.
I mean, it is
right there.
like a block and a half
It's just
away.
around the corner from us.
All I got to do is end this podcast.
Right?
We can walk over
and we
and
could
get my
be there.
time.
Yes.
Did you bring your cow person boots?
I did not, but I did bring a ghost face mask. I don't know if that's appropriate attire.
We're going to be so welcomed. All right, Kat, you answered all the questions correctly. You did a great job. You're the hero.